Hi, I'm Tim Bulott and welcome to weaponsacademy.com. We've got a little bit of a different kind of video for you today. We're going to be upgrading the GPS in our Jeep, and we're going to install this dual. This is the model number XGPS150A, okay? And we got this on Amazon for about $90, somewhere in that price range. We're going to put that information up on the screen for you, and we're going to use this GPS to link to our iPad 4 mini, and that way we can access Gaia GPS and some of the other apps while we're on the trail. So I just got back from a trip from Moab. Some of you may have seen that video. If you haven't, go check out that 5-part series. And you know, I keep running into the same issue. I run with two Garmin GPSs, the one that came with the Jeep, and then I have another model that's, you know, it's supposed to be a little bit better, and I guess it is, but we get out into a lot of locations and the roads we're looking for just aren't on the GPS. And I've got the Gaia app on my phone, and it generally has everything, but my particular phone doesn't have a GPS in it. So then again, I'm in the same old position. So with this dual, I can Bluetooth to the phone, or I can Bluetooth to the iPad mini 4, and I've already tested it. The speed is actually pretty good at 65, 70 miles an hour. It runs there's about 1 second behind. Okay, that is when I get to a certain point in my vehicle, about a second later I'm there on the app. Okay, so now that's a lot faster than I'm even going to go on the trails. So that's going to work out just fine. Okay, I can deal with that. But I haven't lost connections. It seems to keep up just fine other than that 1 second delay. With this model, you can only link to one item at a time, so I can't link into it. I can't Bluetooth into it with the phone and with the iPad, or at least I haven't seen a way to do that. But that's okay. The iPad's mainly what I'm going to use for the trail, etc. So we're going to set this up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to mount my iPad in the Jeep. And hang in there with us. When we get back, we'll go through the whole system. Okay, so as you can see, the GPS that I have here now, what I've done is I've added this little plastic mount plate across the top, and this is made by a company called ProClips, and we'll put the website right here for you. And I think they're out of Sweden and so forth, and it's basically a little plastic bar, and it clips to this tray, to the back of the tray, and through this slot on the top of the radio / GPS unit. And it's got some pre-drilled holes in it on the front and on the top. It's also got some pre-drilled holes in it, so you can mount basically a variety of different type of accessories on there. But what I've done here is I've taken two pop socket receptacles, okay, and these are on there with the adhesive that comes with it, and then we've also got a little bit of epoxy on there. I've learned that before, that back it up with a little epoxy so it can take the vibration of the trail. And we put these two pop sockets on there, and we'll show you here in just a minute what we're going to use those for. Okay, so here we have the iPad 4 mini, and you can see I've just got just a thin case on this, okay? Nothing special about it, but I've mounted 4 pop sockets on it, okay? And I had to measure these. Basically what I did is I put the pop sockets into the receptacles first, and then I mated it together exactly the way that I wanted it, okay? And I've got 2 set in the high position and 2 set in the low position. And what this allows me to do is, if you'll see here in the low position, I can just snap that right there, just like so. It actually covers my radio / GPS, but I don't need that for the trail, okay? It's actually resting against it, and it's actually mounted pretty solid, so the rough ride of the trail is not going to upset it. But here I can clearly see Gaia GPS, and with those pop sockets I can actually tilt this out just a little bit as well, so it's actually angled toward me, okay? So that gives me the mounting position for how I would use that on the trail. Now on the highway, if I want to use both GPSs, okay, I go to the bottom sockets, and I have tested this extensively on the highway. I can angle it towards me like so, okay, and from here I can still see my GPS unit for highway travel, and I have access to use the Gaia GPS or any other app that I want to use on the iPad. Okay, now it does obstruct some of my view up there, but then again, if I had a GPS in the window, it would do the same. So I do have the option on the two different mounts, whether I want to mount it high or mount it low. Then I've got my iPhone, and as you can see, I've got a pop socket on the back of that also, and then this is a handlebar mount, and there's basically my nav system. So I've got all three screens that are clearly visible to me. I've got my regular GPS, my iPad, and then my phone. I've got my charging cables here. Okay, so I can just let those charge as they as we roll down the highway or roll down the trail, and I'm pretty much good to go. I'm set. So all I need to do now is get this GPS up in a good position and Bluetooth into it, and we're good to go. Okay, and here's a closer up look at all three units mounted in position. Okay, so this comes, okay, pretty much like you see it here, and the GPS unit comes with this dashboard slash you know, sun visor, wherever you want to put it, this little sticky pad. Just peel that off and you just rest it, and it's basically supposed to hold itself in place on its own accord there, okay? But the unit itself is actually inside of this pad, and I don't think I'm going to use this at this point. This is what I experimented with when I did my experimentation and my testing and trials. Is I just set this up on the dash, and it, even with the plastic on there, I didn't even peel it off, and it worked fine. Okay, and this unit here has a little USB connector right there, so that we can easily charge it, and it will work while it's charging. Okay, and that's important to know also. And it's just got simple 4 little buttons. Okay, it's got an on-off switch right here where you can turn the unit on, and it's got to be charged first, and then GPS connection, Bluetooth connection, then it's got a battery device right there, battery light to show your battery power when it's charging, etc. And then it's got a slot on it, okay, and I'll show you what that's for. Okay, it comes with this instruction pads here. It comes with this wristband. Okay, I don't know that it's actually a wristband, but it's a band for whatever reason. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just strap it to our radio bar up on top, and probably put some Velcro up underneath to hold it in place. And then to charge it, okay, to keep it charging, we're gonna mount this Wilson 12-volt power outlet on top of our power bar up there, our radio bar. We've got 12 volt already up there, so we're just going to tap into that, and that'll give us a cigarette lighter and 2 USB attachments there, and then we'll be able to basically keep it on a full-time basis. And then when we want to go on a hiking trip or something like that, I can just disconnect it and then put the strap on there and strap it to the top of my backpack. Now it'll be running on its own battery so far, but we've gotten a couple hours of use out of it. Okay, and on a lot of the hikes, I don't need to use it except when I need to actually do a little bit of calculation and map recon. Also, it came with the USB cable, so I've got everything that I need power-wise with the cable to hook up, and then I got this 12-volt USB adapter also. I don't know that I'm going to need that at this point, but just so you know, that's everything in the box. Okay, so let's get to work on getting this into place. Okay, well, this actually worked out pretty good. All right, so here's my wires that feed my radios. There's the wire nuts right there. That's where I got my power from, okay? So I ran my power right over the top of my bar, and there is the 12-volt outlet with the dual USBs, and you can see the lights on. It's getting power right there, cigarette lighter, and then I've got my USB coming out. I've got my additional cables just strapped down, wire strapped down right here on top of the bar. You won't be able to see those from inside. And there's the GPS unit. You can see it's blinking. It's the Bluetooth light is blinking. The battery light's on, so it's charging. And then right here is the on and off button. I can just reach over the top of that bar, turn that off from the inside. I disconnect it when I need to disconnect it. And it's right now it's just Velcroed on with this strap. I can easily just pull this strap off right there, okay, and I can strap that onto my backpack for field use. So we're gonna tidy this up, get our mess cleaned up, and then we're gonna go out and take it for a test ride. Okay, so there is the whole system. On top, you can see right here is the actual GPS unit itself. This is the connector, and you can see a little bit of those wires right there as they go to the socket here. And then we've just got them run down this bar as they go back over here towards the radios and so forth. So I've got my wires all behind this this little panel switch right here, and so forth. On top the radios, they're tucked out of the way just fine. I'm actually pretty pleased with how it came out. I mean, I can see that USB cable a little bit. I may put a couple of screws in there. We'll just have to see. But all in all, it's real easy to disconnect, and let's go give it a test run. Okay, so let's see if we can connect here. So first thing I'm going to do is reach up here, and I'm just going to turn the unit on. And I'm kind of doing this in the blind there because I can't really see the top. So now I'm going to turn my Bluetooth on, and okay, it shows not connected there. Okay, there it goes. It just connected up, so it has signal. That was pretty easy. And to turn it off, I just repeat that and see it go away. It's kind of toggling back and forth, connected, not connected. Okay, so we're wired in there. Okay, so that's settings. Let's get out of settings and let's zip over here to Gaia GPS and go into there, and we should be all set up and connected here. Okay. All right, it wants me to calibrate the screen, so let's do that. Okay, it's calibrated. All right, zoom in a little bit, and it kind of moves us right over home. And yeah, there we are. So let's go out and take a test run and see how we're doing there. Okay, so I got all three of them up. I've got the iPad here on the GPS, and this is a downloaded map, so it's a little laggy just because it's a downloaded map, but it's doing okay. And then I've got cellular service here with the same app, Gaia GPS, through my iPhone with cellular service, and then I've got my standard GPS up. So let's just drive around a bit, and then you can see for yourself how it keeps up. Okay. And you know, it runs pretty smooth at times, and at times it gets a little bit laggy. Like if it had cellular service in it, it'd help. But the map is preloaded, and you know, it is what it is. I can, you know, on the trails I can drive a lot slower, and it's not that much of an issue. But for the most part, it's doing a pretty good job. Now, the other day when I tested it, I did test it in the exact same location, because like I was saying, if I start having issues with it, I'll have to just try to reposition the GPS. But so far, you saw the strength through that fiberglass. It's picking up quite a few satellites, and all of them are in the green, so we're looking okay. So just see how it does here. And there's a lot of videos and programs out there on actually how to use Gaia GPS. I am not the expert on it. I can get by, and you know, it does what it needs to do, but I'm still learning every day myself. There's a lot of features of that app that I haven't even begun to explore yet. But right now, I'm just using it as basic GPS around town and see how it works. Like I was saying, my regular GPS here, that's what I plan on using around town anyway. See, this one here, we can go in with it. When I go in with it there, I may lose my orientation. So no, it's still holding okay. So, and you can see it's pretty smooth there, and it'll lag a little bit, and then it'll pick back up again. But it's not, you know, it's calculating my speed. If you can see the speed bar and everything, it's, you know, fairly accurate. You know, so like I said, for a preloaded map, it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, we're going to call that a wrap on our Gaia GPS setup. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Feel free to leave comments below. And next up for this is we've got to test it as a GPS unit out in the field. Okay, so we're gonna link it to our iPhone in one of our trail apps, and hopefully we'll be going out in about 2 weeks, and we can test it on the trails as well as when we do a hiking trip, we can test it in the field. So we'll get back with you on that and let you know how it does. So hope you enjoyed this and see what you can come up with on your end with a similar setup.